Look around you. Look at the people around you. Look at your life. Look at your habits, your routines, your comfort, and ask yourself one brutal question. Are you ordinary, or are you ready to become the exception? Because I'm not here to give you excuses. I'm not here to make you feel comfortable. I'm here to wake you up, shake you up, and remind you that the life you are living right now is a reflection of the choices you've made up to this moment. And if you don't like what you see, it's on you to change it. The truth is, most people will never rise above average. Most people will settle for mediocrity, for comfort, for easy paths, for what feels safe, for what doesn't challenge them. They will whisper to themselves that someday things will be different, that one day they'll take action, that one day they'll become someone worth remembering. But someday is a lie. Someday is a trap. Someday is a prison that keeps your dreams locked away while life passes you by. You are alive right now. You have time right now. You have energy right now. You have the chance, the opportunity, and the power in this exact moment to start becoming the person who breaks the mold, shatters expectations, and dominates your field. But it will not be easy. Nothing worth having ever is. The path of the exception is lonely. It is demanding. It is painful. It will test you mentally, physically, and emotionally. It will push you to limits you didn't think existed. It will require sacrifice, discipline, and a ruthless refusal to quit when everyone else walks away. You will have to look fear in the face and move anyway. You will have to stare failure straight in the eye and keep going. You will have to walk through rejection, through criticism, through doubt, through the noise of a world that tells you to settle. And here's the thing. Most people will stop. Most people will quit. Most people will choose comfort over greatness. But not you. Not if you decide right now to take control, to step out of the shadows, to stop waiting for permission, for opportunity, or for luck. You have a fire inside you that has been waiting for this moment, a power that has been dormant while life tried to convince you that being average was enough. It's not enough. It will never be enough. You were meant to dominate. You were meant to rise. You were meant to be remembered. And that journey starts now. From this second forward, everything changes if you choose to embrace it. If you choose to commit. If you choose to fight for the life that most people only dream about. So pay attention. Listen closely. Absorb every word. Every principle, every lesson, every strategy I share in this video is a tool, a weapon you can use to become the exception in 2026. If you are ready to rise, to grind, to endure, and to dominate, then keep watching. Because what comes next will challenge you. It will push you. It will ignite a fire in your mind and your spirit that will not stop until you become the person you were born to be. The question is simple. Will you be the exception, or will you remain one of the many who never try? The choice is yours. Most people live their lives thinking that success is a given, as if the world owes them something just because they exist. They wake up, they go to school or work, they scroll through social media, and they convince themselves that if they try hard enough, everything will fall into place. But here's the truth. The world doesn't reward the masses. It rewards the few who refuse to accept mediocrity, the few who are willing to do what the majority will not. If you want to be the exception in 2026, you have to first understand that comfort, complacency, and conformity are the paths to obscurity. Everyone wants to be successful. Everyone dreams about it, but very few are willing to pay the price. And make no mistake, the price is steep. It's not measured in money alone. It's measured in sacrifice, in sleepless nights, in early mornings, in showing up when no one sees, in doing what is necessary when no one applauds. The world does not hand out participation trophies for dreaming. It hands out rewards to the people who are relentless, who wake up each day determined to push further, who outwork, outthink, and outlast those around them. The world is not fair, and it doesn't care about excuses. It doesn't care about your struggles or how much you tried. It only responds to results, and results only come from action taken with discipline, focus, and a refusal to quit. To be the exception, you must reject the notion that just showing up is enough. You must reject the comforting lies that everyone gets a chance, that everyone can succeed, that everyone will have their shot. The truth is, most people will never see their shot because they never put themselves in the position to take it. They wait, they hesitate, they complain, they compare. And while they do that, the exception moves. While they sleep in or scroll endlessly or chase distractions, the exception is grinding in silence, sharpening their skills, building their mind, and preparing to step into a space that very few will ever occupy. Being the exception isn't about luck. It's about refusing to settle for the average life, about refusing to blend into the noise of the crowd. It's about standing alone in a world that pressures you to conform, about walking a path that feels uncomfortable, about choosing work when others choose comfort, sacrifice when others choose ease, persistence when others choose giving up. The exception understands that rewards are never guaranteed. There is no magical formula. There is no guarantee that even if you try, even if you grind, even if you sacrifice, you will get what you want. But here's the difference. The exception is willing to risk everything for the chance to stand apart. The masses want security, safety, and stability. They want guarantees. But the world does not reward guarantees. It rewards courage. It rewards faith in yourself when no one else believes. It rewards action in the face of doubt. It rewards relentless effort over talent that sits idle. The masses are content with small wins, temporary satisfaction, and fleeting moments of pleasure. The exception is never content. The exception is never satisfied with temporary wins because they know the world is moving too fast. Opportunities are fleeting and the window for greatness is limited. They know that if they wait for permission, if they wait for the right timing, if they wait for someone else to approve their dreams, it will never happen. The world doesn't wait for anyone. The masses think they have time, but time is the one resource that cannot be replenished. Each second wasted, each opportunity ignored, each excuse told is a step further away from being exceptional. To be the exception, you must recognize that your life is your responsibility alone. No one else is coming to save you. No one else is coming to hand you the life you want. No one else is coming to lift you out of mediocrity. The world rewards those who take, not those who wait. The world rewards those who act decisively, who take risks, who fail, who fall, who get who keep going when everyone else stops. You cannot sit back and hope the world notices you. You cannot wait for someone to validate you. You cannot expect your dreams to become real while you remain comfortable. The exception understands this and uses it as fuel. The knowledge that most people will never rise, that most people will never push past their limits, that most people will never be willing to sacrifice is not a source of discouragement. It is a source of motivation. It is proof that the field is open. It is proof that opportunities are there for those who are willing to fight for them. If you can see the world as it really is, harsh, competitive, and indifferent, you can stop wasting energy on things that don't matter and start focusing on what will. You can stop following the crowd and start carving your own path. You can stop dreaming in silence and start acting with purpose. The world rewards few because few are willing to take what the world has to give. Few are willing to endure pain, to embrace discomfort, to reject excuses, to commit fully, to rise above the average, to outlast the competition. Few are willing to do what it takes to be remembered, to make their mark, to leave a legacy. Most people will never understand this. Most people will never embrace it. Most people will never break free from the chains of mediocrity because it's easier to complain. It's easier to blame. It's easier to conform. But you have a choice. You can be like the masses, or you can be the exception. You can settle for ordinary, or you can chase extraordinary. You can follow the crowd, or you can forge a path that only a few will ever walk. And when you choose to be the exception, when you embrace the struggle, when you commit to excellence, when you refuse to give in to comfort or fear, you start to operate on a different level. You start to notice opportunities others. You start to develop a resilience others lack. You start to build a future that most people will only dream about. The world will continue to reward few Not many. That is not an obstacle. It is an advantage, because if you are willing to rise above, if you are willing to work harder, if you are willing to push further, if you're willing to outlast the majority, then you are already ahead. You are already exceptional. Being the exception in 2026 means recognizing the truth. Most people will never rise. Most people will never fight. Most people will never sacrifice. But you can. You must. If you do, the world will respond. Not immediately, not easily, not without struggle, but it will respond. And when it does, you will know that being the exception was never about luck. It was about vision, discipline, courage, and relentless pursuit. You will know that standing apart, pushing harder, refusing to settle, and outworking everyone else was the only way to survive and thrive in a world that rewards few, not many. Everything begins in the mind. If you want to be the exception in 2026, you must understand that the greatest battles you will face are not outside of you. They are inside. Your mind is a battlefield, and it is constantly under siege. Every day, thoughts will try to convince you that you are not enough, that you cannot, that you should settle. The world doesn't always attack you physically, but it attacks your thinking relentlessly. Society, friends, family, the media, even your own fears. They all wage war on your mind. They whisper lies. You're too young, too old, too inexperienced, too ordinary. They tell you that your goals are unrealistic, that your dreams are impossible, that your effort will be wasted. And if you let those whispers take root, if you allow them to control you, you will live a life of mediocrity. But here's the truth. Your mind is not due where battles happen. It is where victories are won. Before you can conquer the outside world, you must conquer your own thoughts. Before you can rise above the crowd, you must rise above your own limitations. To be exceptional, you must treat your mind as a weapon, as a fortress, as a battlefield where only the strongest survive. Every doubt you feel, every fear you experience, every negative thought that creeps in is an enemy combatant. And just like any battlefield, you cannot afford to ignore them. You cannot afford to negotiate with them. You cannot afford to give them space to operate. You must confront them head on, challenge them, replace them with stronger, sharper, relentless thoughts. The masses allow their minds to control them. They wake up and immediately respond to every intrusive thought. I'm tired. I'll try tomorrow. I can't. It's too hard. They believe these thoughts are reality, when in fact, these thoughts are the battlefield speaking. The exceptional know that thoughts are not orders. They are signals, challenges, tests. The exceptional know that every negative thought is an opportunity to fight back, to train the mind, to build mental muscle. You must decide what your mind will allow. Will it allow fear to dominate, or will it dominate fear? Will it allow excuses to control your actions, or will it control your excuses? Will it allow hesitation to steal your momentum, or will it turn hesitation into fuel for immediate action? The mind is constantly weighing you, testing you, pushing you to see how much you will tolerate. Most people fail because they let their minds win. They let negative thinking, self-doubt, and limiting beliefs dictate their lives. But being exceptional requires something different. It requires relentless self-command. It requires a refusal to give in to mental weakness. You have to train your mind like a warrior trains for battle, not just to survive, but to dominate. That means daily discipline, daily focus, daily effort to control what you allow into your mind and what you allow to leave it. You cannot let every negative voice, every criticism, every fear control you. You must actively cultivate a mindset of power, of resilience, of aggression in pursuit of your goals. Every thought of quitting, every feeling of being overwhelmed, every trace of self-doubt must be intercepted and replaced with clarity, vision, and determination. Your mindset will determine your results, not your circumstances. You can have the perfect opportunity in front of you, the right timing, the resources, the people. But if your mind is weak, if your focus is fractured, if your belief in yourself is shaky, you will fail. Most people do not fail because the world is against them. They fail because their mind is against them. The battle is invisible, but its consequences are visible. The exception understands this and fights every day. The exception does not wait for motivation to appear. They create it within their mind. They do not rely on circumstances to be favorable. They master their own thinking regardless of what is happening around them. Every setback is analyzed. Every challenge is embraced. Every negative emotion is transformed into a weapon. The mind is not passive, it is active. If you do not command it, it will command you. And if it commands you, you will follow the path of least resistance, the path that everyone else follows, the path of mediocrity. But if you command it, if you train it, if you discipline it, then you will start to see results that the masses cannot imagine. You will start to see doors open, opportunities appear, and obstacles crumble. Not because the world owes you, but because your mind has prepared you to take advantage of every moment. Mental strength is not built overnight. It is forged in repetition, in struggle, in discipline. It is built by confronting the lies you tell yourself, by pushing past the excuses, by refusing to quit when you are tired, frustrated, or scared. It is built by consistently telling yourself, I am capable, I am relentless, I am exceptional. And you must believe it, not just say it, but believe it with every fiber of your being, because the mind responds to belief more than it responds to desire. Most people have desire, but desire without belief is powerless. The masses desire success, but they do not believe they are worthy of it. They hope, they wish, they dream, but they do not fight. The exception fights. The exception conquers the mental battlefield before touching the external one. The exceptional mindset is a combination of discipline, focus, courage, and unwavering faith in oneself. It is relentless self-encouragement when everyone else is doubting you. It is absolute refusal to accept failure as permanent. It is the ability to see the end goal even when the path is dark. The obstacles are massive and the odds are stacked against you. Every great person in history, every person who has become the exception in their field understood this: the mind is where the war is won. They understood that thoughts are seeds, and the seeds you plant today determine the harvest you reap tomorrow. If you plant fear, hesitation, and doubt, your harvest will be mediocrity. If you plant courage, focus, and relentless belief, your harvest will be extraordinary. Being exceptional in 2026 requires a mindset that does not bend under pressure, that does not waver in the face of obstacles, that does not hesitate when opportunity arrives. It requires seeing challenges as growth, pain as fuel, failure as feedback, and every day as a chance to sharpen your mental edge. The world is not waiting to make you exceptional. It will only respond to the one who has mastered their mind, to the one who has cultivated a mental fortress that nothing can penetrate, to the one who refuses to be defeated internally so they can dominate externally. Your mind is the battlefield, and if you do not fight for it, you will be lost in a sea of mediocrity. But if you fight for it, if you master it, if you train it relentlessly, you will become unstoppable. You will see opportunities where others see obstacles. You will create results where others see impossibilities. You will become the exception, not because the world favors you, but because your mind demanded excellence, refused weakness, and commanded victory. Comfort is the silent killer of dreams. It hides behind the walls of your home, behind the routines you have grown too attached to, behind the excuses you tell yourself every day. Comfort makes you settle for the ordinary, makes you believe that average is acceptable, makes you think that doing just enough is enough. But let me tell you something. Greatness has never been achieved in comfort. Every person who stands apart, every person who becomes the exception, every person who writes their own story did so by stepping out of comfort and into struggle. Comfort is seductive because it feels safe, it feels easy, it feels familiar. But it is also a trap, a prison, a cage that keeps your potential locked away. Most people never realize that their biggest enemy is not the competition, not the economy, not the circumstances. They are their own comfort zones. They wake up, they go to work, they scroll on social media, they binge watch shows, and they convince themselves that they are living. But living in comfort is not living, it is surviving, it is existing, it is fading into irrelevance. To be the exception in 2026, you must make a choice. Will you stay comfortable or will you embrace the discomfort required for extra? Ordinary results? Growth does not happen where it is safe. Progress does not occur where it is easy. Success does not live in the familiar. Every great achievement in history was forged in the fire of discomfort. Every breakthrough, every victory, every record shattered, every barrier broken was done by someone willing to risk the known for the unknown, to endure pain when others sought pleasure, to chase progress when others chased convenience. The exceptional understand this truth. Comfort is not a reward, it is a prison. They wake up knowing that their ambition cannot coexist with ease. They seek out challenges, not because they enjoy struggle, but because they know that struggle produces strength, that pain produces growth, that discomfort produces results. When you step outside of comfort, when you choose the hard path, when you face the obstacles that others avoid, you are training yourself to become more than ordinary. Every time you push past fatigue, every time you ignore the voice that says stop, every time you keep grinding when everyone else quits, you are building a mental, emotional, and physical resilience that separates you from the crowd. The problem is that most people will never do this. Most people will never embrace the grind because they are too busy seeking comfort, too busy avoiding struggle, too busy lying to themselves that success can be easy. They will complain about their life. They will blame the world for their failures. They will dream about what could have been, but they will never act. Because acting means leaving comfort behind. Comfort whispers lies. You are fine as you are. You deserve rest. Don't push too hard. And those whispers are dangerous because they are subtle. And over time, they erode ambition. They lull you into complacency. Until one day, you look around and realize that your dreams are still out of reach. Your goals are still unachieved. And your life looks exactly the same as it did yesterday. To be exceptional, you must break that pattern. You must recognize that every time you choose comfort over effort, every time you choose ease over growth, every time you choose temporary satisfaction over long-term achievement, you are giving up your potential. Greatness demands sacrifice. It demands suffering. It demands nights without sleep, mornings before sunrise, workouts when your body screams to stop, studies when your mind craves entertainment. Work when everyone else is resting. The exception thrives in this space. The exception welcomes struggle because struggle is the proving ground. Struggle separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Pain separates the weak from the strong. Effort separates the dreamers from the doers. The exceptional do not wait for motivation to appear. They create it by embracing discomfort and turning it into fuel. Every obstacle becomes a teacher. Every failure becomes a lesson. Every criticism becomes an opportunity to sharpen their edge. Comfort is not just a physical state. It is mental, emotional, and spiritual. It manifests in how you think, in how you speak to yourself, in how you handle fear, doubt, and resistance. If you want to be the exception in 2026, you must reject comfort in every form. You must refuse to let fear dictate your actions. You must refuse to let laziness define your habits. You must refuse to let distractions steal your focus. The path to exceptional results is uncomfortable because it is not designed for everyone. It is designed for those willing to endure what others cannot endure, to sacrifice what others why. Not sacrifice. To commit to a vision that most will not even imagine. Comfort is a mask of safety, but safety is the enemy of potential. Safety keeps you small. Safety keeps you average. Safety keeps you from discovering what you are truly capable of. If you want to stand apart in 2026, if you want to be the exception, you must be willing to walk alone. You must be willing to face rejection, criticism, and doubt. You must be willing to fail, to fall, to get back up stronger every time. This is not easy, and it is not meant to be. The exceptional know that the price of greatness is high, but they are willing to pay it because they understand the reward. They understand that comfort is temporary, but achievement is eternal. They understand that struggle is fleeting, but legacy lasts forever. Every step outside of comfort is a step toward greatness. Every sacrifice is a deposit in the bank of your future. Every time you push past the easy choice and do the hard thing, you are separating yourself from the crowd. You are becoming someone others will notice, someone who inspires, someone who leads, someone who dominates. Comfort is a choice, and choices define your life. Most people will always choose comfort because it is easy, because it is predictable, because it feels safe. But safe is not enough. Safe is not remembered. Safe is not exceptional. You have the power to choose differently. You have the power to reject comfort, to embrace discomfort, to chase greatness relentlessly. You have the power to train yourself in struggle so that you can perform when the pressure is highest, when the stakes are largest, when the world is watching. To be the exception in 2026, you must do what others will not. You must endure what others cannot. You must commit to a level of effort that most people will never see. You must learn to love discomfort because it is the only path to extraordinary results. The road will be hard. The nights will be long. The moments of doubt will be fierce. But every step you take outside of comfort brings you closer to the life you deserve. Every day you choose discomfort, you are leveling up. You are sharpening your skills. You are growing stronger mentally, emotionally, and physically. Comfort is the enemy of greatness, and to be the exception, you must become its enemy too. You must reject ease, refuse complacency, and relentlessly pursue growth, knowing that the only way to achieve the extraordinary is to embrace the uncomfortable, the difficult, and the painful. Only then, when you have trained yourself in struggle, when you have become immune to the whispers of comfort, when you have hardened yourself against excuses and fear, will you stand apart? Will you dominate? And will you truly be the exception in 2026? Dreams are worthless without action. Plans are meaningless if they stay trapped on paper. Goals are illusions if you never move toward them. Most people spend their lives planning, wishing, hoping, and talking about what they will do someday, but that someday never comes. They wake up every morning with intentions. They feel motivated. They say, I'm going to make a change today. But when the clock ticks and the moment of truth arrives, they hesitate. They procrastinate. They let fear or distraction steal their power. If you want to be the exception in 2026, you must understand this simple truth. Action beats intention every single time. You can think about success. You can dream about success. You can even write a detailed plan about success. But unless you act, nothing changes. Action is the bridge between what is and what could be. Action is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary, the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the winners. The world does not reward intention. It does reward thought. It does not reward preparation alone. The world rewards results, and results only come from action. Most people are addicted to planning, addicted to thinking, addicted to hoping. They sit in classrooms, in offices, in coffee shops, scrolling endlessly, reading books about success, watching videos about success, listening to podcasts about success, thinking that knowledge alone will carry them forward. But knowledge without execution is worthless. Preparation without implementation is meaningless. The exceptional know this, and they act relentlessly. They do not wait for the perfect moment because they understand that the perfect moment is a myth. They do not wait for permission because they understand that no one is coming to hand them success. They do not wait for clarity because clarity comes in motion, in doing, in pushing forward even when the path is uncertain. Action breeds momentum, and momentum breeds results. When you act, you learn. When you act, you grow. When you act, you discover weaknesses, limitations, and obstacles that you cannot see from sitting idle. Intention is passive. Action is aggressive. Intention waits for the world to cooperate. Action forces the world to respond. Most people fail because they are addicted to intention. They make plans, they set goals, they dream, but they never act with urgency, with discipline, with purpose. They are waiting for a sign, for a break, for someone to tell them it is time. And while they wait, the exception moves. While they wait, the exception takes risks, makes mistakes, learns, adapts, and rises. The gap between intention and action is where most people lose their lives. They think, I will start tomorrow. I will try next week. I will make the call next month. But tomorrow turns into next week turns into next month, and soon years pass and nothing has changed. To be exceptional, you must shorten that gap. You must act immediately, decisively, relentlessly. Action is not always comfortable. It is not always safe. It does not always come with guarantees. But that is the point. If you wait for perfect conditions, you will never act. If you wait for clarity, you will never act. If you wait for confidence, you will never act. The exceptional act when it is hard, when it is scary, when it is uncertain. They act when everyone else hesitates, when everyone else doubts, when everyone else fears. Action is a form of courage, and courage is the foundation of exceptionalism. Every small action compounds over time. Every step forward, no matter how tiny, brings you closer to your goal. Every decision to move, to do, to push creates energy that propels you further than intention ever could. The masses wait for inspiration, the exceptional created through motion. They understand that action fuels motivation, not the other way around. Motivation is fleeting, but disciplined action produces lasting results. You can feel motivated one day and lazy the next, but action is consistent. Action is relentless. Action is measurable. You can see it, you can touch it, you can prove it. Intentions are invisible. Intentions can be forgotten, postponed, or ignored. But action leaves a trail, a record, a proof of effort. To be the exception in 2026, you must act when it hurts, when it is inconvenient, when it is exhausting, when no one is watching. You must act because action is the only language the universe understands. Talking, planning, wishing, hoping, none of that matters until it is backed by action. Every success story you admire is built on action. Every great athlete, entrepreneur, leader, and visionary did not sit around with intention. They executed relentlessly. They acted when the odds were against them, when failure was probable, when the path was unclear. And through that action, they created results that most people only dream about. Action also breeds confidence. When you act, you prove to yourself that you can. When you act, you gain experience, knowledge, and skill. When you act, you realize that you are capable of more than you imagine. The masses remain trapped in their heads, paralyzed by fear and indecision, but the exceptional break free by doing. They understand that knowledge without execution is useless, plans without movement are irrelevant, and dreams without effort are empty. Action beats intention every time because action transforms abstract ideas into concrete results. Action turns thought into reality. Action turns dreams into achievement. The exceptional understand that waiting is dangerous. Every moment you wait is a moment someone else moves ahead. Every hesitation is an opportunity lost. Every doubt left unchallenged is a step backward. The world is moving. The competition is moving. And if you are not acting, you are falling behind. Being the exception means developing a bias toward action. It means refusing to overthink, refusing to procrastinate, refusing to wait for someone else to hand you success. It means taking imperfect action, learning, adjusting, and moving forward faster than anyone else. Intention is easy. Anyone can sit and plan, anyone can dream, anyone can imagine. But action is hard. Action requires effort, courage, and discipline. Action requires sacrifice and persistence. And that is why so few people are exceptional. The majority never act, they only intend. To be the exception in 2026, you must act even when you are tired, even when you are scared, even when it is uncomfortable. You must act because the world will not wait for you, because of opportunities are fleeting, because dreams do not manifest on their own. Action beats intention every time because action is reality. And reality rewards those who move, those who push, those who refuse to be stopped. Your intentions may be noble, your plans may be detailed, your dreams may be vivid, but until you act, they are nothing more than imagination. The exceptional act, and through action, they create results that make the masses stop, stare, and wonder how they did it. You can talk, you can hope, you can plan, but if you do not act, you remain ordinary. To be the exception in 2026, make a commitment today, act relentlessly, act decisively, act with courage, and act now. Let your actions speak louder than your thoughts, louder than your dreams, louder than your intentions, because action is the only thing that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Pain is not the enemy. It is not something to avoid, hide from, or complain about. Pain is a signal. Pain is proof that you are moving. Pain is the indication that you are alive, that you are pushing boundaries, that you are stepping outside of comfort and into growth. Most people see pain as punishment, as a sign that life is unfair, as an obstacle to be avoided. And because of that, most people never reach their potential. They retreat at the first sign of struggle. They quit when the journey gets hard. They complain when things do not go their way. But here's the truth. Pain is not the problem. Your reaction to it is. If you can learn to see pain differently, if you can embrace it as a teacher, if you can harness it as fuel, it becomes your greatest advantage. To be the exception in 2026, you must understand that pain is a privilege. It is a privilege because it shows that you are alive when others are stagnant. It is a privilege because it shows that you are striving while others are settling. It is a privilege because it is shaping you into someone stronger, sharper, and more resilient than you were yesterday. The world is full of people who will never know the privilege of pain. They will never feel the burn of pushing past limits, the sting of failure, the ache of sacrifice, because they never try hard enough to encounter it. They live in comfort, in ease, in mediocrity. But those who seek greatness, those who refuse to be ordinary, will face pain, and that is where the transformation begins. Pain separates the weak from the strong, the talkers from the doers, the average from the exceptional. When you feel pain in training, in work, in relationships, in pursuit of your dreams, it is a test. It is a measurement of how badly you want what you are chasing. And how you respond defines you. Will you let pain break you, defeat you, steal your confidence? Or will you let it refine you, teach you, mold you, and harden you? Every successful person, every legend, every person who has become the exception in their field has learned to treat pain as a privilege. They understand that without struggle, there is no growth. Without challenge, there is no development. Without resistance, there is no strength. Pain is the hammer that shapes the steel of your character, the fire that tempers the metal of your will, the weight that strengthens the muscle of your determination. Most people see pain and complain. They see pain and make excuses. They see pain and stop moving. But the exceptional see pain and lean into it. They see pain and push harder. They see pain and realize that this is the proof that they are alive, that they are doing something meaningful, that they are creating results worth having. Pain is also a privilege because it teaches lessons that comfort cannot. Comfort whispers lies. You are fine as you are. You do not need to change. Everything will be okay if you wait. Pain screams truths. You are capable of more than you imagine. You can handle more than you thought. You must grow or remain small. Pain forces you to confront reality, to take responsibility, to rise above excuses, to develop the discipline and resilience required to succeed. Without pain, you would never know the limits of your strength. Without pain, you would never know how far you can push yourself. Without pain, you would never experience the satisfaction of victory earned through struggle, the pride of achievement forged through adversity, the growth that comes from surviving what others could not endure. The exceptional understand that every scar, every setback, every failure, every moment of suffering is a badge of honor, a mark of progress, a signal that they are moving forward when others stand still. Pain is also a privilege because it isolates you from the crowd. Most people avoid it, flee from it, pretend it does not exist. But the exceptional lean into it. They know that pain is a filter. It separates the committed from the casual, the serious from the spectators. If you can endure the pain that others cannot, if you can push through when others quit, if you can fight when others surrender, then you create a level of skill, strength, and resilience that sets you apart. Pain is not permanent, but what it builds in you is. The lessons you learn, the mental toughness you develop, the perseverance you cultivate, the discipline you form, they last a lifetime. Every difficult decision you make, every moment of discomfort you embrace, every challenge you face head on adds to your arsenal, preparing you for the next level of growth. Most people see pain as a curse. The exceptional see it as a gift. Pain is proof that you are stretching, that you are growing, that you are alive in the pursuit of something greater. To be the exception in 2026, you must refu. To shrink from it, you must refuse to complain about it. You must refuse to let it slow you down. You must see it as an opportunity, a privilege, a signal that you are on the right path. Because the moment life becomes easy is the moment growth stops. Every athlete, every leader, every successful entrepreneur knows this. They have felt the sting of failure, the fatigue of relentless effort, the weight of expectation, the discomfort of pushing beyond limits. And instead of quitting, they leaned into it because they knew that pain was not a barrier, it was a ladder. It was a privilege to climb, a challenge to conquer, a test to pass. The masses fear pain. They avoid it, they complain about it, they see it as punishment, but the exceptional welcome it, they embrace it, they thrive in it because they know that the only way to stand apart, to dominate, to achieve is to endure what most people refuse to endure. Pain is a privilege because it is temporary, but the results it produces are permanent. The lessons you learn, the strength you gain, the resilience you build, the confidence you develop, they last long after the pain fades. And when you finally reach your goal, when you finally become the exception, you will look back and realize that every moment of struggle was a gift, every hardship a blessing, every failure a stepping stone. To be exceptional in 2026, you must stop seeing pain as the enemy. You must stop waiting for life to be easy, for the journey to be smooth, for the world to cooperate. You must lean into the discomfort, welcome the challenge, endure the hardship, because it is the very thing that will separate you from everyone else. Pain is a privilege. It is proof that you are alive, that you are moving, that you are striving, that you are pushing past mediocrity, that you are on your way to greatness. Embrace it, use it, learn from it, and let it pour. G you into someone the world cannot ignore. Only then will you stand apart. Only then will you dominate. Only then will you be the exception in 2026. That consistency is the quiet weapon that separates the ordinary from the exceptional. Most people are loud in their intentions, flashy in their plans, eager to talk about what they will do. But when it comes to showing up day after day, putting in the work when no one is watching, maintaining effort without immediate reward, they falter. Consistency is not glamorous. It does not feel exciting. It does not produce instant gratification. That is why so few people master it, and why those who do dominate every field they touch. To be the exception in 2026, you must understand that consistency is the silent killer, the hidden multiplier, the force that compounds over time and turns effort into results. Talent can give you flashes of success. Luck can give you temporary opportunities. Motivation can push you to start. But only consistency turns those sparks into fire, those opportunities into dominance, those beginnings into legacies. Most people think success is explosive, sudden, or dramatic. They wait for the big break, the viral moment, the stroke of fortune. But the truth is, success is built in silence, in repetition, in showing up when the applause is absent, when the reward is delayed, when no one notices. Consistency is the decision to do the work every single day, regardless of how you feel, regardless of the obstacles, regardless of the temptations to quit. It is the commitment to excellence over time, not just in bursts. It is the willingness to repeat the grind over and over until mastery becomes inevitable. The silent killer is not flashy. It is subtle. It creeps into lives through neglect, through excuses, through the small compromises we make when no one is watching. Missing one day of effort seems harmless. Skipping G1 practice, ignoring one task, putting off one call feels insignificant. But over time, those small lapses compound. The masses do not notice them, the world does not notice them, and the individuals themselves often ignore them. Yet this is the battlefield where average lives are forged. Consistency turns small, invisible actions into unstoppable momentum. It builds habits, and habits create results that no one else can replicate. To be exceptional, you must embrace the grind daily, relentlessly, and without expectation of immediate reward. You must show up even when tired, even when discouraged, even when bored, even when distracted. The quiet repetition of effort, when compounded over months and years, produces skill, discipline, and dominance that outshines talent, outlasts motivation, and overcomes obstacles that seem insurmountable. Most people give up before they see results because they mistake lack of instant success for failure. They think that if they do not see immediate progress, their efforts are wasted. The exceptional know that the harvest comes slowly, that growth is invisible at first, that results are the natural outcome of relentless, consistent effort over time. To be the exception in 2026, you must stop seeking quick wins, instant validation, and easy paths. You must embrace the idea that mastery, achievement, and success are the results of cumulative, disciplined action. Consistency builds trust with yourself and with the process. Every time you show up, every time you push through fatigue, every time you take one more step, one more action, one more rep, you reinforce the belief that you are capable, that you are committed, that you are relentless. This belief compounds over time into unshakable confidence and momentum that propels you past those who depend on fleeting motivation or sporadic effort. The silent killer works in your favor if you harness it, but it also works against you if you neglect it. Inconsistency is the subtle thief of dreams. Skipping days, losing focus, procrastinating, wavering. These small acts of negligence add up, slowly eroding potential, delaying progress, and creating a life of mediocrity. The exceptional understand this and treat every day as an opportunity to win. They show up when others sleep. They work when others play. They persist when others quit. They execute when others dream. The world notices eventually, not because of one spectacular moment, but because of the relentless repetition that leaves others behind. Consistency is not a matter of inspiration. It is a matter of discipline. You cannot rely on feelings to show up every day. Motivation will fail you. Desire will fade. Only the commitment to a routine, to a process, to relentless effort carries you through when emotions cannot. It is in these moments when no one is watching, when it is difficult, when it is inconvenient, that you separate yourself from the masses. You cannot be inconsistent and expect extraordinary results. The exceptional understand this truth. They understand that showing up daily, doing the work repeatedly, building skill over time, and pushing forward through resistance creates the results that luck and talent cannot achieve alone. Consistency compounds like interest in a bank account. Every day you add effort, discipline, focus, and determination. And over time, those small deposits create an unstoppable force. Every time you maintain effort despite fatigue, doubt, or distraction, you reinforce habits that will carry you long after initial enthusiasm fades. To be the exception, you must embrace repetition as sacred. You must find joy in showing up even when you don't feel like it. You must understand that progress is not always visible, but it is happening behind the scenes, shaping your skills, your discipline, your mindset, and your results. Most people quit just before their breakthrough. They give up after months or years of work because they expected a sudden change, a dramatic reward, or instant recognition. The exceptional know that results are cumulative, that consistency is the silent killer that outperforms talent, and that mastery is built in the unseen, unglamorous hours of effort. Consistency also builds resilience. By showing up every day, by doing the work relentlessly, by refusing to quit, you train yourself to withstand setbacks, challenges, failures, and obstacles. You develop the mental and emotional toughness to persevere when things get hard, when pressure mounts, when everyone else falters. The exceptional are forged not in comfort or ease, but in repetition, discipline, and resilience built through consistent effort. To be the exception in 2026, you must commit to daily excellence. You must stop waiting for motivation. You must stop seeking shortcuts. You must stop depending on inspiration. Instead, you must rely on discipline, repetition, and the quiet power of showing up over and over, relentlessly, even when no one notices. The masses will never understand this. They are addicted to excuses, procrastination, and instant gratification. They will not endure and they will not achieve. But you can, you must. Because consistency is not flashy, but it is deadly. It is silent, yet unstoppable. It is boring, yet powerful. It is unseen, yet undeniable. It is the weapon that turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. And it is the force that transforms you from someone who dreams into someone who dominates. Every day you choose consistency, you are one day closer to being the exception in 2026. Every day you persevere, every day you push, every day you act without fail compounds into the life, the success, and the legacy most people will never achieve. Consistency is the silent killer. And if you master it, nothing will stand in your way. Your legacy does not start tomorrow. It does not start next week, next month, or next year. It starts now. Every choice you make, every action you take, every thought you nurture, every habit you build is either constructing your legacy or destroying it. Most people live their lives as though they have infinite time, as though their actions today do not matter, as though the world will wait while they procrastinate, hesitate, and delay greatness. But the truth is, time is relentless, and life does not pause for the indecisive, the uncommitted, or the fearful. Your legacy is already in motion. It is being built with every decision you make, whether you realize it or not. And if you want to be the exception in 2026, you must embrace the responsibility that comes with it. You must act with purpose, clarity, and intensity, because what you do today echoes in eternity. Most people fail to think about legacy because they live for the immediate, the comfortable, the easy. They chase fleeting pleasures, temporary distractions, and the validation of others. But living for the moment without vision is living without purpose. The exceptional understand that every day is an opportunity to define how they will be remembered, an opportunity to create impact, an opportunity to shape the story that will outlive them. Legacy is not a distant dream. It is built in the small, consistent actions, in the sacrifices made when no one is watching, in the discipline applied when the world is silent, and in the courage shown when no one else believes. To be the exception, you must think beyond yourself. Your legacy is not just about what you achieve, but about what you leave behind, how you influence others, and how your life can inspire, empower, and elevate the people around you. Every choice you make either adds value to your legacy or diminishes it. Every action is a brick in the foundation of who you are remembered to be. Procrastination, complacency, excuses, and fear are thieves of legacy. Every time you delay, every time you settle, every time you give in to comfort, you rob yourself of the opportunity to build something extraordinary. The exceptional refuse to steal from their own future. They understand that the present moment is the battlefield where legacy is forged, and they fight with intensity, purpose, and persistence. Your legacy also begins in mindset. How you think today shapes the influence you have tomorrow. The person who cultivates discipline, courage, resilience, and vision builds a legacy of strength. The person who allows fear, doubt, laziness, and negativity to dominate leaves behind mediocrity. Your internal world shapes your external impact. To be the exception, you must master your mind, master your habits, master your time, and master your decisions, because these are the tools with which your legacy is constructed. Legacy is built in sacrifice. The exceptional understand that the rewards of life are proportional to the cost they are willing to pay. They understand that comfort, instant gratification, and the easy path are enemies of lasting impact. Every hour you invest in developing skill, building discipline, creating value, and serving others is an investment in a legacy that cannot be erased. Every hour wasted, every opportunity ignored, every act of complacency subtracts from it. Most people live in a reactive state. They let circumstances, emotions, and distractions dictate their actions. They drift through life waiting for opportunity, validation, or recognition. But legacy is not reactive, it is proactive. It requires vision, courage, and relentless action. The exceptional take control of their narrative. They refuse to leave their legacy to chance. They plan, they work, they grind, and they endure so that the story of their life will not be ordinary, but extraordinary. Legacy also requires influence. It is not just about what you achieve personally, but about the mark you leave on others. How many lives do you inspire? How many people do you uplift? How many examples do you set? Every person you impact, every positive ripple you create, every lesson you teach becomes part of the tapestry of your legacy. Your actions, your words, your persistence, and your excellence echo beyond your lifetime. The exceptional understand that personal achievement is not enough. Their legacy is measured in the value they leave behind. The clock is always ticking. Time is fleeting. The actions you take today are the foundation of your reputation tomorrow. The habits you develop now determine your resilience, strength, and influence in the years to come. The choices you make under pressure, in struggle, in uncertainty are the defining moments that future generations will study, admire, and emulate. You cannot wait for perfect conditions to start building a legacy. Perfect conditions will never come. Fear will always whisper. Doubt will always rise, and the world will always throw challenges at you. The exceptional understand that action in the face of imperfection is the catalyst for lasting impact. They move forward despite uncertainty. They take risks despite fear, and they sacrifice despite discomfort because they know that a legacy of excellence cannot be built in hesitation. Legacy is also a reflection of courage. It is easy to follow the crowd, to blend in, to live for others' approval. It is hard to break the mold, to stand alone, to challenge the status quo. The exceptional embrace that difficulty, knowing that courage creates stories worth telling, influence worth following, and impact worth remembering. Every moment you refuse to act with courage, you delay your legacy. Every moment you choose fear over action, you allow mediocrity to define your story. But every time you act with purpose, every time you endure struggle, every time you commit to excellence, you carve your name into history. To be the exception in 2026, you must see yourself not just as a participant in life, but as a creator of influence, a builder of greatness, a leader whose impact outlasts their existence. You must operate with urgency because your legacy is not waiting. It is being built right now, whether you realize it or not. You must make every day count. You must ensure that your thoughts, actions, and decisions are aligned with the story you want to leave behind. Excuses, distractions, and laziness are lethal to legacy. The exceptional refuse them. They wake up each day with clarity, with purpose, with drive, knowing that the smallest actions compound into monumental results. Your legacy also requires vision. You must see the future you desire and reverse engineer it through your actions today. You must identify the impact you want to create, the difference you want to make, and the standards you refuse to compromise. Vision without action is a dream. Action without vision is chaos. But vision combined with relentless, purposeful action creates a legacy that transcends time. Most people wait to leave a mark. They wait for recognition, for reward, for applause. The exceptional understand that legacy is built quietly, patiently, relentlessly. It is built in discipline when no one is watching, in sacrifice when no one appreciates it, in growth when no one celebrates it, and in service when no one notices. To be the exception in 2026, you must start now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when it is convenient, now. Every decision, every effort, every sacrifice, very action today is the foundation of your enduring impact. Your legacy is already being written. The question is, will it be ordinary or extraordinary? Will it fade into mediocrity or will it inspire generations? Will it be remembered or forgotten? To stand apart, to dominate, to be the exception. You must operate with urgency, purpose, and relentless action because your legacy starts now and there is no time to waste. Now, hear me clearly. Everything we've talked about today, every lesson, every principle, every moment of truth leads to one undeniable reality. Being the exception is not a possibility. It is a choice. It is a decision you make right here, right now. The world does not hand out greatness like candy. It does not wait for you to be ready. It does not care about your excuses, your fears, your doubts, or the life you wish you had. The world rewards those who step forward, who move, who act, who endure, and who refuse to settle for mediocrity. If you want to be the exception in 2026, you must claim it with every ounce of energy, focus, and courage inside of you. You must understand that your comfort is your enemy, that pain is your privilege, that consistent action is your weapon, and that your legacy is being written with every choice you make. You cannot wait. You cannot delay. You cannot look around for permission or validation. This moment, this second, is your launch pad. The difference between the average and the exceptional is the willingness to do what others will not, to fight when others quit, to rise when others fall, to keep moving when everyone else is standing still. Greatness demands that you show up even when no one is watching, that you grind even when the path is dark, that you act even when the world doubts you, and that you embrace the struggle when everyone else runs from it. To be exceptional, you cannot be like everyone else. You cannot follow the crowd. You must break patterns, shatter expectations, and challenge limits, your own and everyone else's. You must become relentless. You must become unstoppable. You must become a force that the world cannot ignore, a presence that inspires fear and weakness, and a standard that others strive to reach but never can. And let me tell you something. The window is open right now. Opportunities do not knock twice. Dreams do not wait. Every second you hesitate, every second you procrastinate, every second you settle, you are giving up your chance to become what you were born to be. You have been given talent. You have been given time. You have been given the power to take control, but only if you act. Only if you refuse to let fear dominate your mind. Only if you push past comfort, past doubt, past pain, past distraction, past every excuse that whispers you are not enough. Being the exception in 2026 is not about luck. It is about commitment. It is about action. It is about mindset. It is about discipline. It is about choosing to stand apart when everyone else blends in, choosing to grind when everyone else rests, choosing to fight when everyone else surrenders. You have the power to rise. You have the power to dominate. You have the power to create a life so extraordinary that no one can question your greatness. But that power does not wait. It is calling you to action this moment right now. So stand up, decide, commit, grind, fight, endure, dominate, be relentless, be unstoppable, be the exception in 2026. The world is waiting for you to claim it, and nothing, and I mean nothing, will ever be the same once you do.